Welcome, I'm Mark Norseth and I'm a teaching artist at the Honolulu Museum of Art. I'd like to spend a few minutes to show you something that I think will contribute to your experience today. For millennia, artists have been working to understand the world around them. We've been making efforts to find the materials in nature, clay, stone, and fiber, and pigments, and to coax them into forms that express our appearance, our values, and even our lives. The most permanent is sculpture, and it's in sculpture that there was a slow awakening of the desire to make these hard and static images lifelike, investing the inanimate with what it most lacked, which, as turns out, is movement. The word that best describes this animating feature is what artists came to call rhythm. And rhythm is the use of lines and shapes to help bring things to life and to unify them. If we look at this very early Greek sculpture, it's very much about individual parts and has little sense of vitality. Everything's frontal, the weight distribution is equal, and it expresses only the most general aspects of human appearance. But given enough time, all of that was to change, and change in very important ways. As you can see, in time, all of this did change. But for that to happen, artists needed to be trained in how to study what brought things to life, how to observe the actual human figure, and how to discern what really mattered. Today, I would like to show you two methods used to sharpen an artist's skills. The first is fairly simple and can be learned and practiced in an art museum or anywhere you can actually observe people going about the business of life. It involves two simple elements, a sketchbook, like this, and a pencil to make a fine line. In approaching the human figure, one of the keys is going to be the relationship between the head, the thorax, and the pelvis. When I'm studying in a sketchbook, I prefer to draw these as boxes. A box for the head, a box for the thorax or the rib cage, and for the pelvis. The important part about boxes is they give us a front plane, a top plane, and a side plane. So we can tell, this is the division, this is the line of the eyes, the head is tipping down, but the rib cage is thrusting slightly forward. So we begin to see a rhythm drawing through the center of this, through the rib cage and down to the pelvis, which is at a slant. Head, thorax, pelvis, we can look at these forms and how they stack up. And the line that connects them, if we run down the center, is the heart of the rhythm of the figure. The other and longer way of studying these qualities of rhythm and contrapposto involves a technique that can be used in a sketchbook. But because it's more complex, we're going to present it today on an easel. But you should consider this a sketchbook exercise. When beginning a sketchbook drawing, the first thing one wants to do is position yourself so that you are able to see the entire sculpture, your subject, in one glance, and that you have even lighting on the sculpture and the same on your paper. When I drop down an overlay, I can show you the next step, which involves finding an even unit of measurement. In this case, it was very easy. The subject's bent knee to the foot, and I can just draw on here and indicate from there to there. This distance applies itself once and brings us to this landmark, and once again to the beginning of the neckline. And so we have three equal measurements, and I can check back to those as I commence the drawing. Also, I can take this distance and apply it in this direction and find a landmark there that will help me find my other widths. So that's the important part about that. But we haven't, in this case at all, neglected the idea of the three main masses. Having this bent knee is a key to not only the measurement, but also we haven't forgotten about our thorax, pelvis, head relationships. This relationship right here, the bent knee, causes the weight to shift. And you'll see this in all sorts of sculpture. this becomes the most animating feature of all. And Contrapposto is noted for that one feature. By bending this knee, the weight is shifted. You'll notice the pelvis takes on a slant. The straight leg, the bent leg, this creates a rhythm in the pelvis, and we can just block it in here, which is countered in the rib cage here. We tie this together with this beautiful line, and we can actually see the navel of the model. The sculptor placed it here, and there you have it. This is the animating line that sculptors and artists had for so long pursued. In summary, these skills are not just to make pretty drawings. It's to embed in an artist's mind the realities of how form can be made to suggest movement, and how to unify the components of the body beautifully. I hope you might consider taking up drawing, and you'll find that you can do it in your own way, but it's always going to be with an eye towards gaining a greater degree of appreciation for the things that make us human.